So many men fail at semen retention, and here are the 3 reasons why, okay? So let me cook for a minute. It's doom scrolling, not planning, and being negative. So I'm reading from Proverbs 4, verse 23. Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. I'm going to read 24, right? Avoid all perverse talk, stay away from corrupt speech. So how does this tie in with doom scrolling? Let me explain. Let's be real. Most of the content on IG, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all kind of spaces, right? Even in these films and these TV shows, you got to guard your eyes and you got to guard your ears and you got to guard your mouth, because before you know it, you listen to all of these people out here who've been cussing. Now all of a sudden, you cussing. You looking at butt cheeks all day. So now you go to the store, you go to the mall, you around your apartment complex, you can't stop staring at a woman's breasts and a woman's butt cheeks. Because what you're seeing from doom scrolling, watching reels, watching YouTube videos, convincing yourself that you're gonna one day break from break from this perverted lust, right? That one day you're just gonna magically wake up and then boom, I'm never gonna struggle anymore. Don't mishear me. There are people out here that go to church and they get delivered. But there's also another side, where there's some people out here that have been touched inappropriately, let's keep it a bean, by their own pastor, by the way, because there's a lot of people out here who are professing to be a Christian. I'm not going to name no names, but there's a lot of people out here professing to be a Christian. They cuss like a sailor, and you consuming that content on a regular basis. You don't even have your own ideology. You never even sit down and talk to God for yourself. You let other people, all these think pieces, and all these leaders think for you, do all the thinking for you. That used to be like me. They'll get online and start running their mouth. Like, it's crazy to me. It really, really is. Point number 2 I want to get into is not planning, because that's the reason why you fall into point number 1. What you're going to see is all my points, they intertwine one another. Not planning, okay? So Proverbs 1:5. We're going to turn there real quick. So Proverbs 1:5, it says, let the wise listen to these proverbs and become even wiser. Let those of understanding receive guidance. If you don't have a plan, you're not going to succeed. That's the reason why the Bible talks about having multiple advisors. So let's just say you're running a business. Let's just say you want to run a tech company, right? You want to run a tech company. You got to learn about technology. You got to learn about the market. You got to have your market audience, your target audience, okay? You got to see where your ROI is going to come from. You got to see how long this is going to take. You got to write up a business plan, okay? You're going to have to pay taxes, all that stuff, build a website, get a little bit of a following on Instagram or social media or some kind of social media platform. And, you're going to have to continue to do that. And you're going to have to, budget. How much money should I put to the side? Am I going to have to work another job on the side just to support it? I mean, with choosing your freedom, that's what I had to do. I had to do everything that I just mentioned to you. And sometimes, I got to pick up odd jobs and pick up full-time work if need be. Pick up part-time work if I need to. That's just what you have to do. That's the problem with social media today, is that social media has really just given y'all, it's just giving y'all a fantasy. Like, y'all got to understand something. The life that we live right now is reality, not a fantasy. All these people you see in yachts, bro, there's some of them, they got that money. But there's others, they ain't got that money like that. They living off of credit. And they drinking, they smoking, and doing drugs, and they're living in avoidance. So it's always wise to plan. If you want to stay away from lust, you got to plan. Like, for example, we're all going to sit down here and scroll on social media. Contrary to what you believe, I don't think everybody should get off social media. Unless your lust problem is that bad, I don't believe everybody got to get off social media. I don't. I believe if you just get off social media, I mean, it's not really going to do that much for you. With my business, I can't leave social media, even if I wanted to. Set yourself a timer for about 10 minutes, check a couple messages, look at a couple things on Instagram. Obviously, nothing that's lustful. right? And let's just be real. Stick to the timer. That's all. Like sometimes I think we make things more complicated than it has to be as Christian men. Like sometimes y'all just make things so complicated because you stay in your head too much. And you gravitate towards like these pastors, but you don't even use your own brain. And you don't even talk to God for yourself. You know, like God will talk to you once you read these scriptures. But like you gotta learn how to be patient too, my guy. Not everything's just gonna fall in your lap. Chill. Feel me? Like just chill. A lot of y'all need to learn how to chill. You drink too much caffeine. I see this a lot in like Christian culture. Like y'all need to stop drinking so much caffeine, my guy. God dang, like how much caffeine you about to be drinking? Like you drink more caffeine than you drink water. What's in here? You see at the bottom, you got the lemons, you got the limes, you know, mixed in with water. Should have put a pinch of salt in there, but I could do that later. But you get what I'm trying to say. You got to sit down here and you got to get focused. If you want to make something happen, you have to be doing it. It's like Michael Jackson said, if you want to be starting something, you got to be starting something. I mean, I get it. Many of you don't like secular music or whatever, but you chew up the meat and spit out the bones, because let's break it down like this, right? Why is it that so many men who are secular are getting more work done than the doggone Christians? I'll wait. You want me to tell you? Okay, I'll tell you. They not in their head all doggone day. They ain't sitting down, I'm just waiting on the Lord. I'm just waiting on the Lord. Come on, fam. You ain't waiting on the Lord. You're just avoiding the call. You're avoiding the call. That's what you're doing. And the more and more you keep avoiding the call, then you're going to get jealous. Yeah, I said it. I said it with my whole chest. You're going to get jealous because guess what? God gave your assignment to somebody else. Because old boy over there, he wasn't egotistical. He wasn't sitting out here waiting on the Lord like you do. He gave your assignment to somebody else. Now you look like a buster. And now you got to start over. That's how God worked. That's how God worked. One thing I learned about life is this, right? If you don't stick to a plan, if you don't stick to structure, if you don't have systems, and you don't have the discipline to execute consistently, you're going to fall behind in life, man. I'm talking to you as a man. I'm not talking to no women. I'm talking to you as a man. You want to fall behind in life? Be lazy. You want to fall behind in life? Have idle time on your hands. What's it called? Idle hands are the devil's workshop. Okay? And what that really just means is this. Stop procrastinating and go get started. Talking about, I don't have time to read the Bible. You can literally read a chapter for like 10 minutes, bro. Like, why are you so in your head? You're probably comparing and contrasting yourself to a pastor. Bro, I'm not trying to be no pastor. I'm not a Bible teacher. I use the Bible, what I do with my coaching and choosing your freedom, to help, break things down so you can understand it. But it's your responsibility to read the Bible for yourself. Crazy, bro. Crazy, man. It's crazy. Like, the more and more I've done my coaching, I've been doing this for 3 years, man. It'll be 3 years in February. So, yeah, it'll be officially 3 years in February, right? February 2026. Man, it never ceases to fail me. Never ceases to fail me. So many men falling behind because it's their fault. Then got the nerve to get mad at God, acting like they don't hear them. And God been talking the whole entire time because they doom scrolling, they so distracted, they don't have plans, they don't listen. That's another thing a lot of men don't do. They don't listen well. They don't listen to nobody. Like, I literally just told you what to do. You did the complete opposite. I told you to go left, you went right. I told you to go straight and narrow. You went to the right, you went to the left, you went to the front, you went to the back. You was just being a fool. So what I did is this. I stopped arguing with you because fools lack in understanding. Especially a dude, right? A dude who always trying to explain himself. Bro, just shut up. Please. Please just be quiet. Like, we as grown men don't want to hear your excuses. You understand? It don't even matter how much money you got in your bank account. Like, just be a man. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Just do it. What you waiting for? God told you what to do. You're procrastinating. Looking at butt cheeks all day, man. Come on now. Avoiding your calling. Avoiding your calling to live in your fantasy. Ain't that something? You avoiding your calling to live in your fantasy. Point number 3, man, is being negative. That scarcity mindset. Woo, that eats y'all up a lot. I see it a lot as an observer and as a coach and someone who's been, in recovery now for almost 7 years. Like, I used to battle with drugs and alcohol, all kinds of bad habits, It wasn't just the pornography, the masturbation, the drugs, the sex, the alcohol. I was always trying to avoid my calling. That's what it was all about. I believe that I have been called to do this. And when you have a calling on your life, yeah, temptation will be there, but God will always give you a way out. Okay? He will always give you a way out. Just like I said earlier about talking about how the pastor who keeps on cheating on his wife, he's not anointed. Yes, we should give him grace. Yes, we should understand where he's coming from. We should understand his trauma and things like that, but he needs to be a man. He needs to take the necessary steps. So if he likes to go, to the strip club, the bar, and the club, he needs to stop going. Or he needs to step down. Sometimes there ain't nothing wrong with stepping down. I believe that every man could get restored, but there's some men I've seen, I don't think they was called to be no pastor. I'm standing 10 toes down on that. I think in the black community, there's too many men who saying that they pastors, but ain't doing nothing. They ain't doing nothing. They just running their mouth. They want to be an entertainment show. They don't want to be nobody pastor. They don't want to sit down here and shepherd the flock. They don't want to shepherd the flock. They just want to run around chasing after women all day. And little boys and little girls. And grown men too. Some of these pastors, man, they on the down low. Pastors. You got to understand something, man. When you accept the anointing, when you accept the calling, right, to be an official pastor, your old life got to go behind, man. The scripture says it. You will be judged more harshly. You got these men, I don't understand why all these people are sitting down here judging me for, I don't know what. Shut up. Shut up, boy. You're a grown man. You got to act like a man. Life is not easy for men. I'll tell you that right now. Life is not easy for men. But at the end of the day, these people don't want to hear your excuses, bro. I'm sorry. Even if you make valid points. These people not trying to hear all that. I'm just going to keep it real with you. They want to see how you going to move forward and not backwards. And if you continuing to move backwards, they about to leave that church. Get you a wife. Get you a wife if you that horny. Okay? Get yourself under control if you that horny. Talk to your accountability that's around you. Stop hiding all these secrets. Okay? Stop doing it. That's be my best recommendation for you. Sometimes we like to over intellectualize everything, and sometimes we just gotta learn. Sometimes we just gotta keep things simple. Y'all like to just make everything so complicated. It don't gotta be that complicated. Like, how you got all this information, you still a fool? So you an educated fool? You better go to that school and get your money back. You feel me? You better go back to that school and you better, oh Lordy Lord. People be sitting down here got all these degrees and they still stupid. I'm sorry. I ain't impressed by none of your doggone certifications. I'm not impressed by nothing. Honestly, you'll understand something about me. If you ever met me in public, I really don't be impressed by a lot of stuff. When people come up to me and they say, man, you're such an impressive guy, I appreciate it. And I just keep it like that. Like, I don't really be doing this stuff for no attention. I don't care. I just do this because this is what God want me to do. That's about it. Like, I'm not cooked up gang with everybody. I don't even like everybody. I don't. But going back into being negative, right? I went on a little bit of a tangent, but that's okay. It's my page and I do what I want to do. We're going to go to Numbers 14, 1 through 4. So peep game, right? Numbers 14, 1 through 4, it reads, "Then the whole community began weeping out loud, and they cried all night. Their voices rose in a great chorus of protest against Moses and Aaron. If only we had died in Egypt or even here in the wilderness, they complained. Why is the Lord taking us to this country only to have us die in battle? Our wives and our little ones will be carried off as plunder. Wouldn't it be better for us to return to Egypt?" Then they plotted amongst themselves, "Let's choose a new leader and go back to Egypt." Okay? Now, this is an example of being negative. But to give you a little bit of a, excuse me, but to give you a little bit of a background, right? This talks about the promised land of Caleb and Joshua, right? Caleb and Joshua, they heard from God, go to the promised land, okay? Moses instructing them to do that. You understand? But it was the people that were around that were being negative and they were complaining all throughout Numbers, right? Okay, read it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Read it for yourself. But they're always whining. They're always complaining. And Caleb and Joshua were the ones being positive. Everyone else is being negative. That's what I'm trying to say here. When you're always negative about everything, like, I get it. It's hard to be positive about stuff. But like, a lot of y'all, like, you have both your parents, like, you have a car, you have a job, you have some kind of money, you got clothes on your back. You know, the money may not be all the way there. You may be working a mediocre job right now, but that's just right now. Like, you got to understand something about life is that things do take time. When you spend your whole entire life just living in scarcity all the time, you'll never get anything done. And then you're going to get mad. You're going to be jealous. You're going to be more insecure about yourself because, well, let's be honest. People who always got something negative to say, they are the most insecure people you're ever going to meet in your entire life. It's like they always got something negative to say. You can't pay that person to be positive. If anything, they'll be positive for a little while, take your money, and then go right back to being negative. It's crazy. That's why when you go to the fitness community, why do you think that most of those people are very positive people? Why do you think people who are negative, you never see them at the gym? You just gotta find something. So to help you out with this, man, each day, just write down one thing. Each day, just write down one thing that you're grateful for. Just one thing. That's all. Just one thing. That's all you have to do. It's a process. Because when you're doing things holistically, it's going to require you to move a little bit slower. That's just the reality, dude. But a lot of y'all, it's like y'all always just move fast. You talk fast. You do everything fast. And you didn't even do anything that was of adequate motion. You missed the motion. You missed the passion. You understand? That's what you're missing. And you're not present. That's why you're probably so miserable all the time. You're not present. You don't pause. You don't just pause and look around and just say, dang, I really made a lot of things happen in 2025. Like, I made a lot of things happen. If you don't type in anything in ChatGPT, type in, what are my wins for 2025? You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised what they give you. But that's all I got for today, man. That's all I got for today. To recap what I said, 3 mistakes men make while practicing semen retention is doom scrolling, not planning, and being negative. In summary, if you could just narrow that down and cut out all that noise and be more productive, more disciplined, and be in a community that actually is going to help you, you'll be all right. So until next time, man, please like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you're disrespectful, the comment is going to get deleted. Sorry, not sorry. But yeah, anyway, deuce.